Hello there, this is Thomas Van Bommel for my Project 2 Week 1 update. This is my project Lobbier. It's a chat room application that I wanted to integrate with Kubernetes. My idea was that a user was able to create an account, log in, and create a lobby, which in turn would create a new pod in Kubernetes, which is a virtual machine basically, and that would run a little game server to connect to that lobby, and that users were able to add and remove lobbies as they please while chatting with other players alongside. Um, so yes, let's get into the files here. If we look at the deployments, these are our Kubernetes resources. I won't go too much into detail here because they're basically the backbone of the project, but they are interesting anyway. So here are our application secrets, which is just Postgres configuration values basically that we can create as a Kubernetes resource. So I've got the Kubernetes dashboard open here. So if we I'm also in the project files with the inside the deployments folder here. So we've got the 4 deployments that are available on GitHub, and we're going to kubectl create from a file, and we want to create the application secrets. So we'll just open up the dashboard and open that. And on the right here, we can see that it's created application secrets as a resource for the rest of our application. The next resource here is going to be our Postgres deployment here. Now, this Postgres deployment simply creates the database required for our users, and then storage requirements, the actual Postgres deployment itself, and then a service that exposes it to other containers on port 5432. And if we start that guy, you can see that he creates his 5 resources, which is basically his configuration for when there is no database available. He'll create the tables required. We then have a volume, which is basically storage requirements, and then a claim to claim those storage requirements for this deployment, and then a service to expose it. And if we look on the right, everything seems to have booted up here. So if we go, we can see our pods, and this is basically the virtual machine that it's created for Postgres. And if we go to the logs, I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's created a database and it's created our 3 tables. And it's created 3 tables because those are the 3 tables right here. So if we go back, we then have an AdMiner deployment. This is not necessary for the application to work. It's just good for development and to see what's going on in the database. It's just a database management front end. So we'll get that guy going. And he is a deployment, runs the AdMiner image, and then is exposed on node port 30,005. And so we can ask Minikube to list the services available. And we can see that AdMiner is available there, so we can open that. Then we have our AdMiner service here. Now this wouldn't normally probably be set up over here, but you just log in with the application secrets from the application secrets file. Log in, and then we can see the database and the 3 tables that it had created. and that there's nothing in those files. And that's just add minor. It doesn't do much. You can modify all the values and the tables and the database from here, but I just use it to quickly go through the database and see what's happening. So we'll clear the screen here. The next deployment is our server deployment. This is our chat website application thing. And it's got some storage requirements. It's got deployment. On start, it goes to the project directory and then does the node initialization and then starts our node application, which I'll get to here in a bit. And then sets all our resources, exposes it on node port 3443. And so if we create that guy, TACF, server deployment, see the resources created by him. And if we go to our pods, we can see that we have one for adminer, one for Postgres, and one for the server. Oh, and I just got an error on the server. We'll go to the logs here. Couldn't find the module, or couldn't find the application. So this is because Minikube doesn't have our files. So we'll have to give Minikube our files here. So Minikube SSH, and we will go to the mount directory. The data is where the Postgres data is stored, and server data is where we created the storage for the server application. And so if we ls-tacl, we can see server data is currently owned by root. I do want to change that so I can just transfer the files in. So go chown tacar, change that to the Docker user. And it's not allowing us, so we'll just do that. And we'll make sure I own that. I own that now, or our Docker does. So next, I have this file currently in the repository, but it probably won't be there much longer. Update Minikube server files, which does just that. And so we can run that. And that just basically adds the server files to the server. And then what we can do is, because Kubernetes is awesome in the way that it runs, we can just tell it to delete that resource. And it's just going to create a new one. So we'll wait for that guy to come back up. He looks like he's got a green check mark now, so we'll check the logs. Oh, he hasn't come up quite yet. It does download all the node packages on startup and stuff. So, okay, so he's listening now. So now we can ask Minikube, what services do we have? And we can see that we've got another exposed on node port 3443, and it's not working because it's an HTTPS server. I just haven't added the other ones. We then get this homepage. I do need to do some styling on this. I haven't got to the front end yet, part of the project yet, so we do just have the simplicity at its finest. So here you are. You can create an account. And this is running on this guy here. And we'll just open this guy so we can see the logs as we go. So we'll create an account. And then let's say we'll make our ABC account. Create an account, we're logged in. We can then add a new lobby, or you can log out, basically the two options. So we're going to add a new lobby. You name your lobby, and then you get and then lists all the lobbies that are available. Currently, all the lobbies are public. There's no way to make them private currently, just the way I have everything set up. So we'll create a couple lobbies here. And then you can go into these lobbies and you can leave a message. And it just leaves a little timestamp with your message there. And apparently I'm not clearing the input, so you can just spam it. And then you can go back to the dashboard, maybe go to another one and say testing, send that. And the lobbies keep their messages, obviously. If you log out, we'll create another account here. There we go. And just to see that we can log out and log back in. Errors and everything, error checking, password checking, and everything like that is enabled. So you do need to have the right password. I do have cookies, so you are able to leave the page and come back and stay logged in. But we'll get into that when we go into more in the server. And then, so you can come in, you'll see the messages left by other users. You can leave your own messages. And then if we just go back here to add miner, we can check messages and select all the data. And we can see all the messages that have been left so far. Go to users and select all the data, and we can see the users that have been selected, their hash passwords. Lobbies, the same thing. See the lobbies that have been created. So the front end definitely needs some work, but the Kubernetes side seems to be working fantastic. I couldn't be happier with that. So I guess we will dive into the server stuff now then. So we'll just open this guy. Whoops. Where are we here? So let's just... Couldn't remember if it was a DOM or a TOM. I'll get it right one of these times. There we go. Alrighty, so our server. So our server application is a node application. Let's just make this a little bit bigger here. You can start to see some of the project dependencies here. So if we just go back, the project dependencies are all listed here. We do use cookie session to keep track of users that have logged in, so they don't have to log in every time they go to a new page. We are using the Passport middleware for Express to authenticate users. And then we're using the local Passport strategy middleware to basically to allow Passport to recognize our user model. We use Express to serve the website and respond to requests. We use bcrypt to hash passwords stored in our database. EJS to template our HTML files, and PG to interface with the Postgres server. So I've got this database module, which is a custom module that I created here. I don't have any experience creating modules, so this might not be the right format or anything, but I tried. So we have a database object here, and it has a pool that is private. Well, I guess you could access it if you wanted to, but I mean, it's not meant to be accessed. So this database object has a function query, which allows you to query the database and then return that to a callback. We then have this other module account, which basically does all the passport sessions, or like the cookie sessions, and the bcrypt, encrypting and decrypting stuff. And then our app here, and there's not much to this. It's just responding to different pages. So we respond to the home page. This is just something that I should remove, but I haven't yet. So we respond to the dashboard and all the stuff that is required with that. Inserting into databases and stuff. So it's really not a whole lot here to get too much into detail. So the only thing that doesn't come in the repository are the certificates, the TLS certificates that are required for the application that go in the same directory as the app.js. I do plan on adding these as environment variables later on down the line. So yeah, I guess that's been my progress for the first week. Let's hope that the second week we can get things looking a little bit better. And I also have to figure out how I want to do the whole game server type thing. So yeah, that's it for week 1 then. Thanks for watching. Bye.